Let's bring a very interesting senator, Senator Marco Rubio. And if you want to see a great interview with him talking about Hispanic heritage, it's now on Fox Nation. But, Senator, for here and now, something pretty astounding is happening, and that is the early vote in Florida. It's only been open a few days, and already 3.1 million have voted in your state already. And according to a North Florida poll, unrelated, it shows the president trailing by just 1 point. What do you read into both those things?
Well, trailing by just 1 point, it means it's a tie race. I mean, basically, we're a very close race. I mean, the president was trailing, I think, by 2 points right before the election the last time, and he ended up winning. So there's a lot of enthusiasm. The president, I think every poll has consistently shown that a Trump supporter is much more enthusiastic about voting for Donald Trump than a Biden supporter is for voting for Biden. I think you're seeing that energy reflected in the vote, and then the people want to vote. I think that's true on both sides, but I think that's especially true on the Republican side. And anecdotally, I can tell you, I tried to early vote on Monday before getting to the airport, and there was already a line at 6:45 in the morning in the site that's right down the street from my house. So, people are voting. I've never seen lines on the first day at 6:45 a.m.
So I think that's the headline. You didn't try to cut in line, which is great.
I'm Marco Rubio.
No, no. You know what I ended up doing, honestly? I ended up ordering it. It's going to come in the mail. I'm going to go. I'm going to fill it out. I'm going to drop it off. You can drive right up to the voting site and show them your ID. You give it to them. They put it in a little drop box, just like if you voted inside. So, not knowing how long I'm going to be here in D.C., I thought that was the wise thing to do.
I think that's probably a good idea. Let me ask you about this. The people of Florida. We know that there are a lot of people who moved down there. They're retired. I have a lot of friends who are over 65 down there. And during the COVID pandemic, they have pretty much put themselves in quarantine. They're isolating themselves from their families. They're not going out. They're not doing anything. They're just sitting at home, watching the news, waiting for this thing to come to an end. How do those people feel, from your point of view, about how the president has handled the pandemic? Because that really is the key in a number of states.
Well, look, I think the vast majority of people get it, okay? I mean, if you pull yourself out of the Twitter bubble and the political bubble and the Washington bubble and the New York bubble and go into the real world, the vast majority of people understand the president didn't create this virus. The president didn't bring this virus to America. It's impacted the whole world. I mean, look what's happening in Europe. I mean, people keep talking about this country did it so well, that country. They're either really small countries or they're not telling us the truth. And every time every country opens up just a little bit, they have issues. So I think when you take into account the size of this country, the dynamism of this country, and what the response has been, certainly, we've lost lives. We wish we wouldn't have. It's been terrible tragedy and suffering for a lot of people, both from a healthcare standpoint and an economic standpoint. But I don't think the majority of people blame the president for it. And I just don't. I don't think that. Now, do I think people are going through a tough time? I know they are. I know people that have. It's been tough on everyone, particularly those who have not been able to go out and be with loved ones because, of fear for the virus. And, hopefully we'll be in a much better place here in a few months as new therapeutics come online and we get closer to that vaccine.
So let's talk about what happened to Lindsey Graham. I think he was in an airport. I think it was in Washington, not South Carolina. And he was ambushed by these two women. They said that one of them said she was from Seattle, ambushing him about trying to confirm Judge Amy Coney Barrett. Watch this.
Look me in the eye.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Seattle's a good example of how things are getting out of control.
I pay your salary, sir.
Where are you from?
It doesn't matter where I'm from. I'm from the United States of America, sir. Where are you from? My daughter, who stood on the shoulders of giants. You're going to take her rights away by voting for this woman who's a racist?
So can we expect more of the same, of this kind of thing next week if she does get confirmed? And then what about after the election if President Trump wins?
Yeah, I think you can. Look, we've seen this now for a while, okay? And we've actually had people on the left that have openly encouraged people to do this kind of thing, show up at their home, hassle them in public, kick them out of restaurants. I mean, that's kind of the new politics of intimidation. It doesn't work. I don't know any senator on either side of the aisle who has changed their vote or their position on the basis of this. I also think, and you see in the voice, you hear in the voice and you see in the statements of these people, some real exaggeration here. I mean, the idea that this woman is a racist, that they would say that, I mean, I think the overwhelming majority of people who saw the hearing last week saw someone they were very impressed with. They may disagree about wanting her there because they're a Democrat or what have you, but to attack her personally is really ridiculous. I think it's a fringe element. Unfortunately, though, it's become part of American politics now where you go out in public, you hassle and harass people, and we've really seen that amp up here over the last year and a half. I want to be honest, primarily from the left.
Yeah, you don't really see it the other way around. Senator Marco Rubio, thanks so much.